Hey, Richard Matthews here, aka The Alchemist, and this video is an intro into this informal series I'm going to do on photography. Now, why photography, you ask? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of them is because I've sort of been obsessed with photography for a long time. It's something that I fell in love with as a child. As a teenager, I got my first digital camera. I actually started in digital. So I got my first camera when I was 11 or 12 and really just loved the idea of being able to capture moments, capture memories, and make beautiful art with my camera. And I got into college, and I actually paid my way through college with a portrait photography and a wedding photography business, and had a lot of fun doing that. Taking several thousand pictures. But so there's that portion of the photography that I really love. It's just been a passion of mine for a long time. But more than that, photography is a particular skill set, and it's a skill set that translates, I think, really well into running a business. Now, it's interesting because I'm not saying you have to have a skill in photography to be a good business owner, but what I am saying is that I think that to be a successful business owner, you have to be able to translate skills from one place to another, and be able to take the things that you learn in one area and see how they apply in other areas, because that's how you have massive growth in your businesses, by taking either skills or by taking things that you know and you understand from one area of your life and being able to apply the things that you learn there into other areas, into your business and into your personal life or into your relationships. And it's a very powerful way to have massive leaps with your business, or with anything that you're doing, really. So one of the reasons why I'm going to talk about photography is because one of the skill sets that comes with photography is the ability to know and how to put emotion and tell stories, right? So photography is it's this really cool, it's like a snapshot of time. And if you look at the way we are as people, we are what I like to call a story-born people. So everything we do is connected to stories. And it's very powerful. So if you look at, I've been through lots of sales training, and one of the things they teach you in sales is that stories sell and facts tell, right? So you want to be good at learning to tell stories and connecting those stories to people's problems and to their emotions, because emotions are why people buy things. So you get into learning stories. And then, when I started learning about copywriting and putting together sales letters and persuasive pieces that get people to take action, one of the things you learn is how to tell stories. And because stories sell, stories get people to change their actions, because you get their emotion involved, get their heart involved in whatever it is that you are doing. So anytime you want to institute change in someone's life, which as a business owner, that's really what you're trying to do, is you have some sort of skill set or service or product that is going to help someone, is going to change their life for the better. And if you want to help change someone's actions, you have to be good at telling stories. And if you look at videography and putting together video sales letters, if you look at the social sales funnels that I teach in my coaching business, all of it comes down to learning how to tell stories and evoke emotion. So for me, one of the ways that I've learned to tell stories is through photography. And because I have that skill set, I've translated a lot of what I've learned in photography into being able to tell good stories and be able to capture emotion and capture imagination in the stories I put together for sales letters, or for video sales letters, or for sales sequences and in sales funnels. So that's why I'm putting this informal series together on photography. It's because I think photography, for me, it's a place where I have learned storytelling skills, and it's something that I'm transposing into my business. So maybe you will get some benefit from the things that I've learned with photography. And photography is it's really cool because let me back up a little bit. Stories are never complete until someone else engages with them, right? So when an author writes a book, he's only written half the story, right? The other half of the story, the full part of the story, happens when someone reads it and it comes alive in their head, and that's when the story becomes real. And it's the same thing with photography. If you look at any nice camera is going to take a perfect, exact representation of what it sees in front of the lens, right? But that's not the whole story, because then you have to come in as the artist or as the photographer and tell the picture. You need to infuse it with the emotions that you had at the time when you took the picture, the feelings that you had, and get the I don't know what you want to call it, get the feeling into the picture, get the emotions into the picture, so you can turn it into something that is going to evoke emotion in someone else. And then the story becomes complete when someone looks at and engages with your photograph, and then you have a complete story, right? Because you have the picture that you took, the emotions and the feeling that you put into it, and then the emotions and the feelings that someone has when they look at it and they enjoy the picture that you created. So the way this little informal video series is going to work, I'm going to hop on camera every once in a while whenever I have something cool to share. I'll do reviews of some of the photography apps that I use on my phone or on my computer. So, if you want to translate any of those, you can use some of those skills. I'll do some, informal videos on how to do composition or how to use some of the camera gear that I use. Which is all basic, simple stuff. Things like my iPhone. I use my iPhone like most of the time. I have a nice camera that I use occasionally. I do almost all my editing from my phone nowadays. It's pretty amazing that you can put art together with, nothing more than just what you have in your pocket all the time. So I'll do those kind of things. I'll put them into videos, and if you guys like them, let me know in the comments, and share the videos out. No, that's really great. And then there's just one last piece with the photographs and the stories, and that's I think that with your business, anything that you're doing online, you want to have high quality photographs. So if you look at my website, or if you look at The Hero Show or richardmatthews.me, you'll see that there's high quality photographs on there. And unfortunately today, people are going to judge your business based on the quality of everything they see that you do. So whether it's videos or whether it's photography or it's your website, everything has to have we've become spoiled. It's got to have a high level of quality and polish to it. And what I'm hoping is that by putting together this series, which is going to be focused mostly on the art of it and some of the emotions, the feeling, the storytelling, but you'll also get some of the skills that you could use yourself to when you're building your websites or when you're putting pieces together. No, it doesn't really matter what your industry is, that even if you're hiring a photographer, if you're hiring someone to do your web design for you, that you can have an eye for what looks good and say, hey, you can bump up the level of what you're doing to the next level because you have some of the skills, even if it's just up here and you're just watching my videos for the head knowledge. So you can say, hey, I want to have this level of quality in my pictures on my website or on my brochures or on my book or on, wherever you're putting and using photographs, that you have a basic understanding of what makes a photograph good and how you can evoke emotions with that photograph. So that's my short informal intro to this series on photography. If you have anything specific you want me to cover, let me know and I will put together videos on it. So with that, go ahead and check out the rest of the videos in this series.